Hello, lovely people. Welcome to my channel. My name is Eunice. In this video, I'm going to be teaching us how to make this beautiful butterfly top with pencil skirt with several layers. The butterfly top, can you see that we have the scallop part of our lace on both sides of the hands? Can you see? So giving us that butterfly effect. And then this is our skirt. It's a pencil skirt and it has several layers and it is really beautiful and very stylish. I hope this is something you would like to learn. If this is it, make sure to keep watching till the end. And before we get started, ensure to click on the subscribe button to subscribe. And make sure to put on your notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. Let's get right into the video. So we'll be making use of this lace fabric and we'll be starting with the drafting of the top, that's the butterfly top. The length of this top is going to be 42 inches plus hemming allowance of 1.5. That will be a total of 43.5. So I'm going to go ahead and measure 43.5. So I'm going to measure 43.5 here. So this is our 43.5. Let's just make it 44. So these are 44 here. And then I'm going to fold over 44 again. So that means one is for the front and the other is for the back. So this 44 inches I have here, I'm going to cut it out so that we don't have too much fabric to work with. So I'll cut out 44 inches and then show us the next thing to do. Cut out a length of 44 in two places. You can see it's on fold. So when I open it out straight like this, it's going to be 88 inches. So 44 on fold. So now the next thing I'm going to do, you can see it's already folded vertically. So I'm going to fold horizontally now. This is to achieve the width. I haven't folded the fabric. The next thing we're going to do now is to mark the neck width. I'm going to be using a neck width of 6 inches. This neckline is really wide but high, okay? So I'm using my school chalk so that we can see my markings. So I marked a neck width of 6 inches and then a neck depth of 3.5. So I'm just going to use my pattern master to connect the points like this. So this is what our neckline is going to look like, and the neck depth and for both the front and back are the same thing. So 3.5 and then the width is 6 inches. So now the next thing I'm going to do, from this line here, that's from the shoulder line here, I'm going to come down and mark the bust point. So the bust point of my client is 12 inches. So here is the bust point. Next I'll mark the waistline, and that's 19 inches. Then the hip line is 27 inches. And then of course the full length of the gown is there. So here on the bust line, I'm going to enter quarter of her bust measurement. That's her bust divided by 4 plus half inch. This half inch is for ease. Take note I'm drafting in front of my fabric because we're making a butterfly top. So the bust divided by 4 plus half inch. Here on the waistline, the waist divided by 4 plus half inch as well. And then on the hip line, the hip divided by 4 plus half inch as well. This half inch I'm adding is for ease, and my fabric is folded into 4, so that means half inch in 4 places. That's a total of 2 inches. So whatever I have here on the hip line, I'll bring it down to the hem line here. So meaning I'm using the hip divided by 4 plus half inch. And then I'm going to use my straight ruler to connect the points. So now I'm working with a lace fabric. So this mark I have here is going to reflect on the other side. We're making a butterfly. We're going to top stitch. We're going to stitch in front of our fabric. So this chalk mark I have here, because you can see that the fabric is netty, so it will definitely pass and reflect on the other side. My stitch will be starting just from the bust point here. That's why I came down from the shoulder line and I marked from the bust point downwards. So now the next thing we're going to do is to cut it out. Just the neckline. That's all we are cutting out here. So this is what we have. So let me open it up so that we can see. Can you see that my chalk mark is here? So all I need to do is to just highlight it more so that it is clearer. So this is what we have. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to take this to my sewing machine and stitch from this bust point down to the hem. But before stitching it, you want to make sure to hem the down part with the hemming allowance. And I added a hemming allowance of 1.5 inches. So I'll hem the front and hem the back. Then I'll go ahead and just stitch following this mark I drew here. I'll repeat the same thing on this side, following the mark I drew here as well. Then I'm going to use my bias to turn the neckline. So that's all for the top. Okay, so I'll keep this aside so that we can draft the skirt. So to draft our skirt, I'm going ahead to fold my fabric. This skirt is going to have layers. Okay, that's the scallop part of our lace we lay on top of each other. So to determine the amount of fabric to fold, I'm going to divide the hip by 4, then plus 1 inch, because this skirt is not going to have a lining. The person will be wearing it with an inner wear, that's like a shimmy. So I don't need too much sewing allowance, just 1 inch is fine. So the hip divided by 4 plus 1 inch is enough for this skirt. I've folded my fabric and this is where it stops. So now I'm going to measure the length of the skirt. I'll be starting from the hem here because I'll be using this scallop part of the lace to create the overlapping effect, okay? The length of the skirt I'm making is 44 inches. And the length of my band is going to be about 1.5 inches. So I'm going to subtract that 44 and 1.5 from the 44 inches. So that's going to be a total of, it's going to leave me with 42.5, because my band is going to be, the band is going to be 1.5 inches. So, and then I'll add half inch to that measurement because I need half inch to join the band. So from this point now, which is the waistline, I'm going to mark the hip line. From waist to hip is 9 inches. And then from waist to knee line is 22 inches. And then the full length of the skirt. Okay? So here on the waistline, I'm going to divide the waist measurement by 4. And then I'll add just 1 inch to that measurement. I'll also add 1 inch for my dart. I'm going to have darts front and back. Then here on the hip line, the hip divided by 4 plus 1 inch. And then what I have here on the hip line, I'm going to subtract 1.5 from it and enter it on the knee. So I have 14 here on the hip. I'm going to subtract 1.5, so that will leave me with 12.5. I'll mark it here on the knee line. And then I'll bring the same measurement down to the hem line here. And I'll go ahead and use my straight ruler to connect the points. So here at the front waistline, I'm going to come down by 1 inch. This is for our waist sloper because our front is not straight. So you want the skirt to have that nice balance in front. So I'll connect this 1 inch to the side seam here. So now it's time for us to cut out our skirt. We are done with the front part. I won't be cutting on this waist sloper yet. I'll cut on the first line, that's the original waistline. Then when we place the back, after we're done with the back, we'll cut out the waist sloper. So we'll go ahead and cut out. Okay, so this is what the front piece of our skirt looks like. So you can see I didn't cut out the waist sloper. So I'm going to fold my fabric so that we can draft the back. To draft our back, let me just highlight the lines. These are hip line, the knee line here, and then the hem. This is of course the waist. You can see I placed the front piece on top of the back piece. So you will notice that I have a zip allowance. These are center front here. You can see there's an extension at the back. I want to have a zip allowance of just 1 inch. So this is my 1 inch zip allowance here. You can see that these are 1 inch zip allowance. So I'm just marking the knee line and then the waistline here. I'm sorry, the hip line here. So now on the waistline here, I'm going to take out ½ inch for zipper bulge. Remember I added zip allowance of 1 inch, so I'll just mark ½ inch out. This is so that the zipper doesn't gape at the back. And then here on the knee line, I'm going to take out that 1 inch completely. And this is it. I'll take it also on the hem. So I'll go ahead and connect the points. Take note that I removed the 1 inch completely on the knee line. So I'll connect from this knee line to the hip line here. And then I'll connect from the hip line to the waistline. So, and then from this knee line, I'll just take it down straight because I'm eliminating this 1 inch here from the knee line to the hem line. This is so that so that the butt at the back can come out well to give it that nice shape at the back. So at the side here, I'm not doing anything. I'm not adding because exactly what I have in front here is what I will still have at the back. So right now we are done with the back, drafting out the back. So all I need to do now is to cut out the back piece. So I'll be cutting on the same line. Remember that we added our darts to the front. So now that means we already have the darts too at the back as well. So I'll go ahead and cut out this ½ inch, which is for zipper bulge, to eliminate the zipper bulge. You see, I'm not touching what I have here on the hip line. So I'll go ahead and cut on this line. You see, this is what the back of our skirt looks like. And you see this place just comes out to show that there's a butt there. Remember that under our butt, immediately after the butt, you notice that it just begins to go inside. That's around the lap area and the leg. So this is to help the butt of my client to come out well and give it that nice fit. If you leave it straight, the bum bum will not come out well. Okay? So I'm going to notch this back, the center back, to indicate that this is the side of the butt. That's the side of the zip allowance, so that you don't mistakenly interchange them because you can see they are looking alike. So now that I've separated the front from the back, I'm going to go ahead and cut out the waist sloper. That 1 inch I came down by in front. You see? So I cut it out, and this is what we have here at the back. I already mentioned that these skirts will not have a lining, so that's why I'm using just my sewing allowance of 1 inch. Can you see? So this is what it looks like here. So now I'll go ahead and cut out the layers that we're going to have here. So this part that I have here, after cutting out my skirt, this is about This is about 8 inches. So I'm going to cut it out considering the width that I have here. Now this is not going to have sewing allowance because it's to go from front to back. So now I'll just measure what I have here around this side because you can see that everything from the knee is equal here. So this is what I have here. Let me measure. I have 12.5. So 12.5, that means minus 1 inch. That means I'm left with 11.5. So that means I have 11.5 in 4 places because my fabric is folded into 4. The front is folded into 2, the back is also folded into 2. So that's a total of 4. So 11.5 times 4, that's going to be 46. So the width of this lace I'm going to cut is going to be 46 in width. I'll cut 2 layers because they will overlap on each other. So I'll cut it out and show us what we have. So here is our skirt. I've stitched the sides. The side I make sure that it's really neat. I still placed it wrong side facing wrong side, and I stitched on quarter inch before I went ahead to stitch on my actual side seam allowance. Can you see? And I repeated the same thing here. This is what our skirt looks like. So you can see that the center back is still open. So now I'm going to open up this skirt so that we can layer the steps that we're going to have. And this is the fabric I'll be using for the 2 layers that I'll be stitching to this skirt. And the length of this fabric is 8 inches. Can you see? This is 8 inches and I have 2 pieces because I want to have 2 steps before the actual end of the skirt. So it is 8 inches in length. So I want to maintain that. I'm going to add these 2 so it will give it that 3 steps effect because of this last layer that I have here. And already I said that the length is 8 inches. I need it to overlap on the other. So I'm going to subtract 2 inches from that measurement. So I'll assume that is 6 inches. So now from the hem of our skirt, I'm going to measure 6 inches times 2. That's going to be 12. Okay, so you can see I've marked my 12 inches. So now the next step I'm going to measure from this 12 inches point and I'll mark on 6 inches. Take note that the first one I multiplied the 6 by 2 and then from this part I'm now marking 6 inches. So this 6 inches I'm going to mark it all the way to the other side of the skirt, and also the 12 inches I'll mark it all the way to the other side of the skirt. So I'll go ahead and do that. My 2 steps. So I'm going to bring in the lace fabric and then I'll place it right side facing right side like this. Take note of this side. This is the side with the scallop. I'll place it like this. And then I'll pin down the first step. I'm going to pin it all the way to the other side. I'm going to shift it down like this and then I'll pin the second one on this 6 inches mark I have here. So now this is what I have. So you can see that after pinning it, it's overlapping on top of the other one. Can you see what I have? So I need it to overlap like this. That's just like 1 inch overlap. So you can see that I'll have our 3 steps. Okay, so now I'll take this to my sewing machine and stitch it down. I'll stitch the both of them down. I'll come back and show us the next thing to do. I'm done stitching the 2 steps, and this is what we have. Can you see how beautiful it's coming out already? You see I have the first, second, and then the third. So I'll go ahead now and cut out the excess I have here. I'm just going to trim out this excess. Having trimmed out my excess, now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to place them right side facing right side. That's the center back now. right side facing right side like this. I want to make sure to align the points. Then I will go up by 21 inches. That's going to be the length of my slit. So by these 21 inches, that's the length of my slit. You see? So and then from the waistline, I'm going to come down by 9 inches or 9.5. This is where the zipper will stop from the waist to 9.5. So now I'll go ahead and mark 1 inch. So this 1 inch, I'm going to stitch this point. That's starting from this 9 inches mark I have here. I'll stitch it down and stop here at this 21 inches mark I marked, because this is the part that I'll close up. So this part remaining is going to be the slit. That's for the back opening. And this is the part I'm going to fix my zipper. Okay, I'll fix my zipper and stop here, then close up this part. So first I'm going to close up this part, then fix my zipper, and then bring it back and show us how to place the band. I'm done fixing my zipper. As you can see, I closed this part and I left this side open. This side is where my slit is going to be. So the next thing we're going to do is to fix the band. So I placed my fabric on fold. I'm using this black satin for the band because the inner wear she's going to be using is going to be a black inner wear. Okay? Fabric 2.5 inches on fold, and then I cut it out. So I went ahead to slash it into two and I stitched it back with half inch, and then I folded half inch. Okay, so you can see I'm left with 1.5 inches for the band. Remember I said that the length of my band was going to be 1.5 inches. Okay, so you can see that I folded half inch in and I've stitched this side. So I'm left with my 1.5. So to fix the band, I'm going to place the band from the wrong side. I'll place it, you want to leave some because it will need to overlap. Okay, so I'll place it from the wrong side here, and then I'll pin it round till I get to the other side of the zipper. And leave about 2 to 3 inches. So I'll take this to my sewing machine and stitch it from the wrong side. After stitching, I'm going to flip my band like this, right side facing right side. I'll close up this part. I'll repeat the same thing on this side, right side facing right side, I'll close it up. Then after that, I'll flip it so that I can cover it up like this on the right side of the skirt. Okay, that's after I must have stitched this side and I have something like this. Can you see? So I'm going to top stitch it and then bring it back and show us what it looks like. Yeah, these are skirts after fixing the band. You see, I fixed the band and then I went ahead to sew the skirt hook. That's to tack the skirt hook. And see, so that I can hook the band like this and can see sitting really well. And for the slits, this is what I went ahead to do. I didn't just leave the slit allowance, that's the zip allowance, hanging. All I did was to fold it in. That's after weaving it. I went ahead to stitch it down so that it's not coming out. You can see what it looks like on the right side. It's sitting really well. I stitched it this way and then I went this way back so that the skirt can sit well. So you can see the inside of my skirt, everything is looking very, very neat. This is what we have also on the front part. You can see how our steps came out really beautiful. Came out really, really beautiful. So I'm going to set the skirt aside so that I can show us our butterfly top. So for the butterfly top, like I said, remember I just said I was going to stitch from the 12 inches mark. That's I came down from the shoulder by 12 inches and then I stitched using the measurement of my client. I stitched it all the way down to the hem. Can you see? I repeated the same thing on this side. Started from 12 inches and then I stitched it all the way down to the hem. So you can see that from here, this 12 inches is where the hand will come out from. So you see this part. This is what will give us the butterfly effect. You can see the scallop part of the lace. So now the next thing I'm going to be doing, which is the final thing, is to tack these appliques. You can see how I arrange the appliques on the chest area. That's on the front neckline. Just going to be tacking it here to embellish it and give it that beautiful look. I hope this is coming out really beautiful and you're learning from this video If you are learning and if you gain value from this video, please make sure to like this video, share this video with your friends, and most importantly, do not forget to subscribe and also put on your notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video. So I'm going to tack this and then I'll wear it on the mannequin and show us the final outcome of this butterfly top and pencil skirt, steps pencil skirt. Okay, thank you. So I'll tack it down. I hope my arrangement is good. I like it this way: black, peach, black, peach, black. Okay, and then peach, black, peach, and then black in the middle here. So I have 5 here, I have 3 here, and then I have 1 here. So I'm just going to quickly tack it and wear it on the mannequin so that we can see what we have. So this is the final outcome of our butterfly top with pencil skirt, layered pencil skirt. It came out really beautiful. You can see how it fits the mannequin. So you can imagine how it will look on the human model. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something. If you did, please make sure to like this video, share this video with your friends, and do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.